What's up, guys? Nolan here, and today I'm going to be asking you to think of a scenario. You're sitting there with your friends trying to play ARMA 3, but you don't know how to set up your own ARMA 3 server. You don't know how to set up your own scenario. You don't know how to set up the bad guys. It is quite difficult to learn how to use this, and there's a couple of tools that I know about that will make it very easy. In fact, by the end of this video, you should be able to easily set up a fun op for you and your buddies in 20 minutes or under, easily. It depends on the scope. If you want to put one guy down, might take only 5 minutes. If you want to put a whole armada down, you want to go kill planes, ships, tanks, infantry, everything, could take a little bit longer. But by the end of this video, you should have a good, fun operation set up for you and your friends in about 15 minutes. So on the screen here, you should see a screenshot of the mods that I am currently using. The only one, the only one on this list that you absolutely need is MCC Sandbox. That's the most important one. You can forego any other mods in here, although this is a very solid list of just basic mods that you would want to try out. But for sure, you absolutely need the MCC mod in order to make this as easy as possible for you guys. But if you wanted to go check out the other mods, you for sure should. RHS is awesome, ACE is awesome, CBA is awesome. And now that I think about it, a couple of the things that we're going to be doing also requires ACE. So just to improve your experience in general, I would definitely say you're going to want to grab really at least the mods that you have on the screen here. But for sure, the bare minimum, you're going to need MCC, like I said before. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to be on the main menu here. We've got the multiplayer. You want to jump up to multiplayer and go to server browser. Here you want to go ahead and hit host server. And then here is where you used to have a ported server, which I actually do, which has had me been able to host lots of fun ops in the past. But for now, something that I just learned about, which I feel like has been here a very long time, but I'm just now understanding it, is that you can actually do the whole port forward. You can do it on your own. You just have to click that little button down there. So go ahead and name the server whatever you want. Make sure you switch the host to internet. Go ahead and keep the port wherever you want. You can set the max players to whatever you want. I'll go ahead and keep it at 16. Set the password to whatever you want, and then make sure that you click UPnP, that little UPnP box down there. Once you make sure that all these settings are about correct, obviously you can name it whatever you want, and there's a couple other things like the password or whatever that you can make whatever you want. Just make sure it's internet, make sure it's on UPnP, and you're good to go. You can host a server from there. So I'm going to go ahead and click. It's going to go ahead and set up the port forward, or the port for you, so you and your friends can actually connect to it. Okay, here we are on the create game menu, and normally you would have to go into the editor and you'd have to set up a ton of stuff like roles and everything for all you and your friends. You have to set up respawns, tons of different stuff, but MCC makes it very easy for you to set up in one easy template here. And we're going to go ahead and pick our map over here on the map menu over here. You could just click what map you want. If you put in your own mods, it'll show up over here on the right. So if you use a cup mod or a cup map or whatever other mod, if you just use a different kind of map, it will show up in this list. So today we're going to use Tanoa, and then for MCC, we're going to have to jump over here and use the MCC template and go ahead and hit play. And here we go. We have our roles already set up. If we didn't have MCC, this would all be empty. Well, we would have, eventually we would have had to set it up through the editor. But MCC already has set up all the roles. So depending on how you want to do this, these may matter. But for what we're going to be doing today, where we have ACE, we're going to have Arsenal set up on the on some boxes, and we're going to have our friends and I, if my friends were involved in this, it's just going to be me today. We would set up our own loadouts and whatnot. So these spots do not actually matter for us today. But if you wanted to use them, then you totally could. Everybody that you spawn in with, or every role that you click, we'll spawn in with a specific loadout for that role. So I'll just go ahead and show you. I'll do Rifleman AT, and I'll spawn with some AT just to show you guys. But like I said, it does not actually matter for what we're going to be doing today. All right, so I went ahead and hit click, and now we're going to load into Tanoa. All right, now we're loaded in. Don't mind those errors that you can see, at the bottom left there. Those are just because of some leftover little mods and some scripts that I have, because I have partially the 506 mod in or activated, but it won't matter because it's not going to affect what we're going to be doing today. So disregard those errors that you saw at the bottom. But like I said, because I spawned in as the AT role, here we go. I've got the law on my back, or the N law, sorry. So that's how you can set it up. If you wanted to have quick and easy roles set up and you don't really want to deal with everyone sitting at the box for half an hour trying to pick their how their guy looks, pick their loadout, then that's one way to do it. But for now, we're actually going to set that up so I can show you how you can pick your loadout. But anyway, first we're going to go into the MCC dashboard. Just do your center scroll wheel and you get to the menu and click MCC. And then from here you can log in. There were some other settings there, but you can kind of mess with that on your own time with like turning off the grass and view distance and whatnot. But for now, we're on the MCC dashboard. And for what I do, I really don't mess with this very much at all. So it's kind of up to you guys if you do want to mess with this. But for everything that I do, I really only use MCC for respawn and role assignment. Just easy to set up roles, easy to get going, just jump into the game. You already have your roles set up, you already have your respawn, everything's good to go. But most things when it comes to spawning stuff, I use Zeus. But also weather is pretty easy to set here, so usually when we are in MCC, it'll start raining, and it looks like it's about to rain. So what I'll do is I'll brighten our day up a little bit here. So I went up to this set weather menu up here. Well, I'm going to go ahead and drag the overcast slider down. That should brighten up our day a little bit. There you go. And next I'm going to go ahead and open up Zeus, so I'll go ahead and click Zeus and then click the map. That's also something that's very useful with MCC is that anybody can be Zeus. You don't have to have a Zeus player specifically. Anybody can log in once the player that's currently in MCC logs out. Anybody could then log into MCC themselves. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up our little starting area here for the operation, and that's going to involve a respawn. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the center menu over here on the top right or the right side of the column, the create column on the right. And we're going to go to modules, which is the center. Up on the right here, you have 5 options, whether it be units, groups, modules, markers, or recent. And we're going to go to modules, and then we're going to go down towards the middle here, towards respawn. It was actually towards the bottom a little bit. And you can go ahead and click the players for Blue 4, drop that wherever you want, but we're going to have our respawn be here, so I dropped it there. And then go ahead and hit vehicles. There's a weird bug. I don't know if it's just me, but for me it tends to spawn players on the vehicle, and even sometimes vice versa. So I tend to put down the respawn for both players and vehicles very, very close to each other wherever we want either to spawn. Specifically players. Also, if you're trying to respawn vehicles, they won't actually respawn unless you click them and you tell them to respawn. But we'll get more into that later. Anyway, that is the respawn setup there. So now if I go over to my player and I go ahead and hit a grenade, where is it? There it is. I hope it was close enough. I hope that kills me, or else I'll have to. Oh, there it is. There we go. Now I should respawn at that tent there. Or not the tent, the hangar. So there we go. So that was the respawn. The respawn worked. Another way, you don't have to go put a respawn everywhere to get your guys to teleport. Another way I could have done that if I go back into Zeus here is I could have just gone up into Ace and then teleport players, and it would have teleported me as well. If you have your other friends online, it'll show their names here. You just click their name and then hit OK. And then it'll teleport them to wherever you clicked, wherever you originally put that marker down. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that now. And that just teleported me for just, I don't know, across the runway there a little bit. But now, next thing I'm going to do, now that we have respawn set, is I'm going to set up a little starting area for us. So we're going to go over to the units. We're going to go over to empty, because if you spawn in a blue 4 and you go to anything, really, it'll most likely spawn an actual unit, or it'll spawn a truck with the units in it. So like if I wanted to, there's the pilot there, so that's actually an AI unit, and then let's say I wanted to spawn in a truck like a Gaz, it'll actually have people in it already. So we don't want that. We want them to be empty, especially if you accidentally put down the Op 4 units as well as the Blue 4 units. You're going to have a situation like this where these are already set up AI. They're going to immediately... That guy shot a little bit more. They're going to immediately start fighting. So you're going to want to avoid that as much as possible, especially if you're spawning in tanks and stuff. That'll get pretty messy pretty quickly. So we're going to go ahead and just jump all the way through from Blue 4, Op 4, Independent, and Civilian to Empty. And we're going to jump all the way down the list here to Supplies. So depending on how many mods you have set up or enabled, you're going to have a longer or shorter list depending. But we're going to jump out into Supplies and go to Ammo. And we're going to go down to the supply box for NATO. Now, the cool thing about Arsenal is that it doesn't even need to be a supply box. I'm just doing this just for the sake of making it look normal, where I would go up to a supply box in order to get ammo or whatever. But you can actually put Arsenal on pretty much any object in the entire, as long as it's a solid object in the actual server. You can put an apple down and have Arsenal if you wanted to. So anything that you could place in Zeus, you can give Arsenal to. So what you do is you just go ahead and double click it. And then you go up to the preset drop-down menu here, and then you hit virtual Arsenal, and then go ahead and hit Add Preset. Once this font shows up down here for the execute menu, or the execute window, you go ahead and hit OK, and now this object is going to have Arsenal on it. So you go back in game, run on over to it, and set up your loadout. Here we go. Get into Arsenal here. And this is where you can have some fun playing around with the mods that you're going to be checking out, or the mods that you're going to be using. You can go check out all the different kind of camos. Like I know I have TRYK in here, so here's all the TRYK stuff. Depending on what kind of map you're on or what you're going to be doing, you can set up your camo. Same thing for guns. If you've got SMA or if you've got RHS or whatever it might be on. Today we've got RHS. You can go through, add whatever kinds of guns you want. Pretty much for all of this different stuff, we've got all the GPSs and maps and binoculars and NVGs and faceware and helmets and everything. That's where you go through everything. But down at the bottom here, we've got a bunch of stuff that I've already have saved up. So we're going to go down to load, and we're going to go to the one that I have saved for this video, the MCC vid, and we're going to go ahead and load that. So I've already tricked my guy out, look, getting ready for the tropical, I guess you could say, map here since we're on Tanoa, so he's all green and black. You're not going to see any desert camo or whatever. And he's got his HK416 there. Also has an optic on there that you can get from the menu up to the top right. If you go up and go to the guns, and then you go to the sights on the you pick your gun on the left, and then you go over to sights on the right. You can do your scroll wheel and go through all the different kinds of sights that you have over here on the right. Same thing goes for rail attachments, muzzle attachments, and bipods. But anyway, yeah, you guys can check that out on your own. Depending on what kind of mods you have, it's going to look different. If you're using the exact same mods I have here, then you're going to look pretty similar. But for now, we're all set. So just imagine that we sat here for a lot longer than we did, trying to make your guy look as cool as possible before you went in your operation. Because I guarantee you, you're going to do it at some point. You're just going to want to just make your guy look as cool as possible and check out all the new cool shit. Because why do you want to add all these cool mods if you don't actually want to use them? But anyway, so that's our loadout. We've got our guy set up here. We've got our inventory because I loaded it up. He's got a law on the back. He's got a grenade launcher there too. He's got some medical supplies. He's got some grenades. He's got some demo charges here. He's ready to go for an operation. So now what we're going to need up next is some transport. So we're going to go back into Zeus here, and we're going to spawn us some vehicles. So once again, we want to make sure we're in the empty tab on the far right on the create side of the Zeus here. Column, I meant to say. So we're going to drop all the way down over to the USA, which is the RHS part of the mods that I have. Alright, so we're going to go to Woodland here, the US Army Woodland. We're going to go to Cars and drop us a Humvee. This is going to be the Humvee here. There we go. We'll give us a 50 cal, and we'll put a couple more parked over here just for shits and gigs, and give them a Mark 19 over here. And just because we can, we'll go ahead and we'll put I meant to do tanks here. Go ahead and put some Abrams over here, making it look good. Right there. There we go. And why not? If we wanted to go in by a helicopter, we'll give us a Black Hawk here. Or even a Chinook. Put the Chinook over here. It's going to need some more room. And there we go. If we were feeling stealthy, then we can go down to SOCOM here and grab ourselves a Little Bird. That one's going to have a gun on it. Well, not this one. The one I was going to grab had a gun on it. But these had the benches. This is the one I was going to grab. This one's got guns on it. There we go. So if you did want one with guns on it, there you go. There's a little bird there for you. So there we go. We got plenty of options to take onto the operation, whether we want to go as fully armored as possible, or we wanted to go a little bit lighter with the Humvees over here, or if we wanted to get in there quickly with some Little Birds or some Blackhawks or a Chinook. Airborne wise, also another thing that could be set up is that whether you want a buddy flying the plane or not, you can drop down an AC-130 and then jump out the back. Obviously, you would need to bring a parachute. There's some little automated things that you can do through MCC there, but it's a little bit difficult to set up. So just for the sake of making this a quick video and just showing you guys the basics of how to get an operation done as quick as possible. I'll leave that for another time. But those of you guys that are really, really interested, you need to be able to know how to parachute. Maybe have one of your buddies fly it, or you can even have an AI unit fly the plane as you jump out of the back, that kind of thing. But for now, just for making it easy, we're going to go ahead and start setting up the operation itself. So we're going to jump back into Zeus here, and we're going to go find us a nice little bad guy location to mess around with. And I believe there's a little city right over, not a city, but a little tiny little town, like a villa over here. Yeah, this will work with a little checkpoint. So what we're going to do is we're just going to spawn some guys over here. If we did this correctly, we should have some compositions. Yes. So either Ace or ARMA in general. I'm not sure which one, but of the mod pack that we have here, we have a couple of checkpoints and stuff. I'm pretty sure this if it's a composition, which it is, I'm pretty sure it's part of Ace or base ARMA. So as long as you have Ace, CBA, or obviously base ARMA, which you do because you're playing this, you should have these compositions. If you don't, it's not that huge, big of a deal. You can just kind of put units in buildings, or you can go find a nice city, put some of them in buildings, things like that. It's not a big deal, but I would definitely advise getting some mods that add objects, which you'll see on Armaholic or Steam, because then it really spices up your missions. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and go to checkpoints, and we're going to drop a little checkpoint. Actually, we'll go ahead and go to large. Is this even going to work? No, it's not even going to work. It's not the right one that I wanted exactly. But anyway, we'll just go to the camp then, I guess. We'll drop like a little camp here. This is Camp Eagle for guerrilla camps. Nope, we'll do Camp Falcon. I want something that actually looks like a little bit of a camp. There we go, that'll work. You got some barbed wire there. I'll spin this around the other way so it looks a little bit better. Kind of something like that. There we go. Do something like that. That's their little campsite there. And then we'll give them an objective. So things that you can add to this this mod pack that'll add stuff is, I know that there's some cup compositions. There's a bunch of mods that you can get that will add objects to it. But you can also just go into modules, and if you go down to empty, and then if you go down here, you'll find the objects themselves. So if you go to structures, you're gonna find a bunch of stuff. You'll find roads. You'll find for village, you'll find garages, you'll find houses, stuff like that, all down here, just for the sake of making it easy. That's why I went to the compositions over there. But if you wanted to, you can go back over to empty, and you can see all the stuff that you can place down. Like here's the things menu here for Ace Logistics. You can find some spare sandbags and spare tires and things like that. So for an objective, we're gonna want some intel. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump down into this building here. We'll call this their command post here. And what we'll do is we'll take, can we find like a table? Let's find, all right, I can't find the fucking table. So this is where it could get a little bit too lengthy if you want to set something too intricate up. But just for the sake of showing you guys, yeah, if you wanted to find a table, it'd be in here somewhere. I don't know where exactly, but they'll be in here somewhere. You can find a bunch of random objects and stuff, place them down willy-nilly wherever you want, make it look as good as you want. But for now, we're going to go ahead and place some secret documents down, place them there. And you should be able to pick them up when we get here. Or if not, we're going to have a secondary objective where these guys stole some stingers. So I think what we're going to do is we'll put them over here. What will we do? Can we get into this building? No, we can't. We can get into this one over here, though. I know that. So we'll put a stinger over here, and we'll make sure we blow up that before we get out of here. So we'll jump all the way down to the bottom of the scroll here. Go down to weapons, go down to launchers. This will be the stinger here with the FIM. So we'll make sure to blow those up. Those will be a secondary objective there. So we've got the intel, and we've got our stingers, and now we even have a little bit. Excuse me, we even have a little bit of a camp here. Now we need bad guys. So things that go good with intel are like high-value targets. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to the Op 4 tab. We'll just go ahead and use the Chinaris or whatever these things are, the insurgents here. We'll go down to infantry. There should be an officer. Here's the officer. We'll drop him in here with his intel, and we'll say he drops his intel on the floor there when we kill him. Make sure we get that off him. But then we're also going to make sure he's got some guys guarding him. So we'll put an AKM guy out front over here, put him up at the door. There we go. And we'll put another AKM guy here. He's guarding him. Oh, bring him outside. There you go. And then we're going to have a couple of guys over at the stingers. We'll just put one guy in here, but we're going to have this guy look a little different. We're going to have him be a sapper because he's going to be dealing with explosives. So we'll have that guy there since he's got his stingers in there. So we'll have him there. And then we'll even have another guy outside. Why not? I'm gonna be by myself, so I don't want to be putting too many guys down here. This might be a little bit too many as it is, because ARMA's pretty difficult. These guys can shoot through walls. AI are a bit touchy, so that's why you want to try and scale these correctly, depending on how many friends you've got exactly. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna also have somebody patrolling. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump over to groups so we can have these guys already together. And I chose to do the insurgents here. So we're gonna grab. I don't know why there's two different ones, but we're gonna go ahead and grab here. There's already a patrol set up, so there's 4 guys here. We're gonna have these guys patrol around the entire area. So what we're gonna do is place them in the middle of the area, and then we're gonna go over to modules, and we're gonna go to ACE, and then we go to patrol area, and then we go ahead and click it on that square. Or sorry, we should probably click on. I think it's you got to click it on a person. I thought you had to click on the square, but it's a person. So just go ahead and click it on the person there in the middle, and then we give it a 100-meter radius. Should be meter. All right, so that circular area, it means that he's going to repeat whatever the closest action is, or cycle whatever the closest action is. So you want to make sure he's close by to that when they actually end it. So you'll see that this is going to end the cycle here. How when they start walking, they'll go here, and then they'll go over here, and then they'll go here, yada yada, all the way around. And then whatever this is closest to, they should go and do it again. Something that people notice a lot is that the AI could be acting kind of strange. Like, they could be like really easy to kill, things like that. So some stuff that you can do is you can increase their skill level. I wouldn't advise it, especially where I'm going to be by myself here. I'm going to go ahead and keep them where they're at. But that's pretty much it. We've got a couple objectives. We've got a bunch of bad guys in this town, and that's pretty much an easy little fun op setup, ready to go. So once you've done this once, you kind of understand how to do things. So if you wanted to make it like a weekly thing with your buddies, you could get down the process pretty quickly. Like if I had 6 friends here and they said they wanted to play ARMA, I could feasibly get together a very good fun op in less than half an hour, where I could even tell them to just go get ready. I've already got my classes set up. They can go get their classes set up with their loadouts and whatnot, and then I can go set up the mission. And by the time they're ready, the mission should be ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot at, let's go ahead and see if we can make it through this on our own here. Alright, so obviously those guys knew where I just landed. So what I'm going to do, and so this is something that you can easily do when you're playing with your buddies, is just kind of find a tight little, or a nice little corner somewhere. If they're getting shot at, maybe just act like you're finding some cover, and maybe even do a little bit of Zeusing behind the scenes here, or while you're playing. So just go ahead and hit Y. And we'll say those guys definitely knew where I just landed. They just got fucked up. I killed a bunch of their buddies. They know where I am. So I'm going to just tell a couple of them to just start moving towards me here. So we'll just spawn in a couple extra guys too. And we'll tell them to start moving towards me. I'm getting shot at. I don't know where from. Damn AI shooting through your fucking trees. Oh damn, I'm pinned down. I need some more fire support. If only I could go into Zeus. So if this actually does happen, actually this guy's moving up a little bit too quick. You can do the same thing. You can go up to modules. And you can go into fire support. And let's say it's a little bit too, they're getting to a little bit of close. Let's call in some close fire support here with some mortars. While you heal yourself up. Oh, or I get killed. You done fucked with the wrong country, pricks. Cover me. Shit, he's still alive. How the fuck did he survive all that? That means the other guy's probably still alive. There's a guy up there. He's down. Oh, no, he's not! Jesus, fuck. Go ahead and place that charge there. Oh, he's still up. Probably a good job for the grenade launcher, huh? That got him. See anything? I think I saw him in there. Oh, fuck, changing. I think he's down. Frag out. He's down. All right. Not seeing anything else. Oh, I put the wrong one down. That's the right one. I don't know what this one is, but this is the right one. You had to go into... Alright, so I did that wrong. You had to go into things on empty, and then you can pick up the intel. So now I can pick up... This is the right intel there. Alright, go ahead and take that intel there. Alright, thank you. You can go fuck yourself. Alright, we got demos set. We got our intel. I don't think there's any of these motherfuckers left. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Something else that you could do here is you can go ahead, as you're running back, you can also, once you're in the vehicle, or you can just kind of act like you got shot. Do whatever you want. But also something else you could do here is you can jump into Zeus, and you can even spawn some other guys down. You can have them chase you down, that kind of thing. Just kind of add to it. So what I was trying to say at the end of the video here, but for some reason I thought I could talk over a full blast engine of a Abrams tank there, was that once you're in the vehicle, something else that you can set up is go into Zeus again, go into scenario flow, and then go ahead and put your final mission ending signal up, or whatever you want to call it there. Whether you thought it was a mission complete, or whether you thought it was failed, or whatever side won, that kind of thing. So I usually just go with the mission complete because it looks kind of cool at the end there. And that's pretty much it. You guys are all set. That is the full setup of a full fun op. You've got your objectives, you got your AI, you got your loadout, you got your transport, you got your exfil, you got everything. Everything there, everything that you learned in this video is what you can do to use in a fun op with you and your buddies, including even setting up the server yourself so that they can connect, which you couldn't do very easily. You couldn't used to do very easily. But anyway, I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. I hope to see some more fun ops out of a lot of my fans in the future, using the information that I've given you here. And I also hope that you have a nice day. See you guys.